Hold on,
Ryan, why don't you pull up Amazon's margins real quick?
Well,
Yeah, I'd have more of a grin on my face than Stephen Hawking on Epstein's Island.
I'm off as a smug cock when you said that.
Wow, physical philosophy, you're not very smart at all. You screw up, cash flow kings. Dissector, you are an idiot.
Hello, everybody. It's Sunday. It's 12 o'clock Eastern. If you're watching right now, it's the weekly recap. This is the number one cure to a Saturday night hangover.
Indeed.
Who says water's a thing? You got the Cash Flow Kings weekly recap, where every week we like to share our buys, sells, dividends, and so much more throughout the week. Unlike some other YouTubers that don't have the big nuts that we have to show them, we actually show all of our stuff every single week to keep you guys in the loop. So, Fiscal, would you like to take us away with some of your transactions for the week? And I would recommend, if you guys haven't already, watch our episode from yesterday. It's the best place to be every week, Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern. We had a great episode with Aria and Double D's.
And what a week it was. So, I sell options sometimes, and I got some premium from selling one on Medical Properties Trust. It expired out of the money. I got free money for doing that. It was free. Yeah. Perfectly free. Just like dividends. Free money.
Yep.
Now, I bought, as you can see, some grab and some high tide. Yep. Some more MPW. Got a dividend from my old friend Walgreens Boots Alliance.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
I know. They their stock may be down a lot, but at least they still pay the dividend and give me free money, right? Right? It's okay if I get a dividend, right? I'm not really losing. That's what Khmer told me. So, after that, I bought more grab, and then importantly, I doubled my amount of British American tobacco.
Ooh.
Yeah. So they're trading at like 4.3 times their free cash flow right now.
Ooh.
Yeah. Ooh. And they pay 9.5% dividend yield. And if they were to do some buybacks at these prices, it would be very juicy. And
I know a company that does tobacco and also is doing buybacks and has a 9% yield also. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I already have a lot of Altria Group, though. And British American is at a much cheaper multiple, even than they are. So I think the difference with BTI is possibly the debt. They have a good amount of debt, but they have a priority towards wanting to deleverage some. But buybacks would be such a good use of their cash right now.
Yeah,
and word on the street is that they are going to start doing some buybacks soon.
I just exploded.
Exactly. So very happy to do that. And also just to note, as you know, Digital Kunst has a lot of optimism about tobacco stocks. He's our tobacco analyst. So
legendary BTI episode after hours. Ryan was a little out of it.
Yeah, he for sure, like, he's been screaming it from the hilltops that this is a screaming buy for months, if not longer. Fabio has a bunch of BTI also. His cost basis is a little lower than mine. He's like 29 or something. I think this makes my cost basis like 32 or something like that. Okay. So, but at the end of the day, whether your cost basis is 29, 30, 32, or even 33, whatever, probably at these prices, you can't really go too wrong with BTI. Probably. But that's not financial advice.
Not financial.
If I say that, nobody can blame me for anything ever. Hey, everybody, go all in on scratch off lottery tickets. Not financial advice. Right. So got a qualified dividend from Key, which is Key Bank, $20.50. And as you well know, you could buy two Starbies for that.
Yeah, maybe a buy one, get one deal. You'd want them more optimally.
Yeah. And of course, I picked up some more high tide and some more grab. And I bought 500 shares of a penny stock called Parks America.
What's that? Oh.
It's this little weird thing where they have three like zoo type amusement parks
Okay.
that like feature exotic animals and stuff.
What are we talking
And
about? Exotic animals here. Oof. Like
and
just the animals that are exotic?
two of the parks don't really make a lot of money, but one of them makes a lot of money.
Okay.
And there could be some interesting things happening with it.
Oh,
I personally, I just kind of, it's kind of like a bit of
bit of a
a
gamble.
bit of a scratch off lottery ticket, but
Is it a new position or is
it's
it
new.
a secret one? Okay, that's
It's
interesting.
new. I didn't have any before.
Okay.
And I don't know. I might add to it, or I might just call it a lottery ticket. It could go up a lot, or it could go to zero.
That's life. Could go up or could go down.
It's just kind of
50-50.
like this random little thing. It's their whole market cap is like $30 million or something. It's like super small cap. And then by the way, there's like a big OTC fee for even buying it. I don't know if you see that, like $7. So yeah, it's not cheap to buy from that perspective. Your brokerage is going to charge you something for it, and
We love our good premiums here on the cash.
but this is one of those things where it's either going to go up like a lot or just go nowhere or die. Like there's not going to be a thing where it compounds at 10% a year or something. Like it's not one of those kind of things. It's literally it's practically a lottery ticket, I would think. Which is why I only have a couple $100 worth of it. And if it does really great, I'll be like, yay. But if it doesn't really affect anything. Yeah.
There you go. All right. As for me this week, you guys should already knew June is one of the bigger months when it comes to our good old divvies. We love our divvies here on the channel. June's one of the bigger months. I don't know. It's kind of equaling out now because I have a lot of core holdings now that pay in different months. So, but let's get into it regardless. Start off the week, I got a nice dividend from our favorite tuck-friendly underpanties retailer, Target. It's always a good time where time in June in the Cash Flow Kings, and we're talking about Target. Am I right, Fiscal?
Yes, and I spent a lot of time at Target today.
That's good. $7.97. They recently increased the dividend. Pretty underwhelming, only 2%. Thank you, inflation. And it doesn't help that they increased 50% 3 years ago and 20% 2 years ago. So, Target, as Joey Swole would say, do better.
They were a little aggressive.
Yeah. All right. This is the next one that's actually going to be really interesting. I discussed it on last night's live. Go watch. And I explained my thesis a little deeper. But Disney, I dabbled in. I bought $25 of the Disney, which is roughly a quarter of a share. I put my toes in the pond. I'm definitely going to be buying a lot heavier if it gets down to 90. It's Fiscal kind of said on the show last night, but 90s, 80s definitely I'd be going a lot heavier. But the fact that they're producing now $7 billion in free cash flow every year, and they reaffirmed that last earnings, makes me very confident. I believe that Moana 2 will be a giant thing for them, and I see some positive steps in the right direction to make Disney great again. But Disney's definitely an interesting holding. Next, I got a whopping 55 cents from S&P Global. You do a lot with 55 cents these days. You can get something off
That's
Temu.
2 gumballs, sir. 2 gumballs.
I know, yeah.
Not just one.
Next, I put $75 into Visa to $70. Visa's actually, they've grown their earnings so well where it's actually like fair price right now if you're looking. And a lot of, I know we like to make fun of the analysts here on the channel, but analyst forecast for Visa are like $270, $315 a median, and like $360 on the high end. So there might be something behind that. It's a really good company. It's one of those things where I just want to build it up, forget about it, and let that motherfucker compound.
Who doesn't go broke very often? The credit card company.
That's what I'm saying. And unlike some people, Visa does not rely on the credit card fees and interest for their free cash flow. Next, I got $4.58 from Microsoft, which I reinvested in like 100th of a share. Thank you very much, Microsoft. See you. Then I bought 2 more shares of Vici on Friday at $56.33. I got that at $28.16. So, I mean, adding more in, the more I go into this company, the more I'm convicted. Very, I see them doing the right things right now in terms of like accretive acquisitions. Unlike some people who have a literal tenth of a brain on Twitter and don't understand why they had to dilute shares, they don't understand how an actual REIT works. I'm happy to profit off of those people and their intelligence levels. And lastly, on the topic of REITs, I got my monthly dividend, $4.47 from Realty Not Reality Income. So busy week. June's a pretty busy month in terms of dividends, but it is not a busy month in terms of earnings. So
Ooh.
I only see 2 companies, and I think you know what I'm looking at.
Oh, Kroger,
Of course, Smith and Wesson's the other
Smith and Wesson.
company. Our Second Amendment rights.
Yep. I'm a customer and a shareholder on that one.
Again, after episode 32, we all might have to.
Oh, I mean, I've been a Smith and Wesson customer since before you were born, or
Since the day I turned 18, boy.
yeah, my for my 18th birthday, actually, yeah.
There we go.
yeah.
Nothing better than funding your own dividend.
Yep. And hey, Smith and Wesson generally in election years does very well.
Yep.
And
Heard it here first.
This has been an interesting election year in that people are openly talking about the possibility of a civil war. So it's good to it's good to have Smith and Wesson stock when people are talking about civil war.
All right, everybody, that's the weekly recap. So 12 minutes, the best 12 minutes to recover your hangover on Sunday. So hopefully get some water in you after the Castle Kings, maybe a Gatorade or 2, support the Pepsi dividends, and full circle here on the Castle Kings. If you haven't already, though, watch the pod from yesterday, the live show, best place to be. If you weren't in the chat, but of course you can always rewatch it back on YouTube. It was a Joe Rogan-like episode. Sometimes you have those guests where it's just like it's a Joe Rogan episode, and that was one of them for sure. So definitely go check that out. Smash the like button, subscribe, do Dividend Stocks Chugs, and of course remember
Buy the merch.
cash.
Cash
Yeah,
flow
I had it on. Is king. Oh yeah.